how a publishing company would grow with us, or I should say, do grow with us, because this is happening now. This isn't some kind of flight of fancy that may happen in years to come. This is now. Obviously, the ability for you to only print what you need means that you don't have to go out and start printing 500,000 runs of the next Harry Potter book. Not that there is going to be any, but that doesn't need to happen anymore. You could actually identify where you want that printed, how many you want printing in that region, and only fulfill locally, rather than printing centrally with one massive litho run or gravure run, however you want to produce it, and then warehouse it, ship to a central distribution hub in Europe, and then distribute across borders to the countries you want those books to arrive on a truck. That's all gone. So print where, when you need it. So that means you don't have to stock up. You've not got to worry about the warehousing. Now, if the warehousing is your own, you've got the space back. If the warehousing isn't your own, you avoid having to pay for that warehousing space. You've also got the opportunity to avoid all the costs involved in that warehousing in terms of manpower, etc. So all of these costs disappear. Obviously, one of the biggest issues with publishing, depending upon what realm of publishing we're in, is printing too much for the market demand, or overestimating where you're going to sell your books or how many you're going to sell, which normally results in someone at the end of the year doing the dust on the book jacket test and throwing away 2/3 of the printed products that you've got, or having to pay for warehousing space to hold them in the hope that they sell as a second or third draft to the market. So you can avoid that. And the reduction of waste now isn't just a case of throwing things away. You know, we've now got landfill charges, taxation. There are now impacts on companies for waste. But also, if we fall back onto the CO2, the ecology argument, again, it's another reduction in the company's costs, and it's another tick in the box on an ecological level to not have to dispose of, shred, or if you are having to legally dispose of documents, because publishing isn't just in the realms of Harry Potter, you've got costs against the certification of the disposal of that documentation. So the cost's gone. Obviously, reduced shipping across borders, you've got reduced taxation. You pay local tax in the country that you're printing. So that happens. As an opportunity outside of reducing these products, it allows you to maximize a lot of legacy work. So syndicating old titles and reintroducing catalogs back into the market can again be done into regions that maybe there is an interest, or maybe if there's someone that just requires one book and you need it printing in Argentina and it's got to be there this week, it can all be done. So that's obviously on the financial side of things. There's a lot more to this, and we can go through this specific for any of you who are interested on how it would impact your own company on a more one-to-one basis. But the subject of taxes is a moving beast. You go to Brazil, honestly, you've got to be a boffin. Anyone doesn't understand what boffin is, you've got to be a brain surgeon mentally to be able to cope with this taxation system there. So the ability to avoid multiple taxation on cross borders, shipping centrally into a location and taking the product through multiple borders can be a problem. Producing it locally means you only pay that local tax once. One of the biggest problems I do find, though, because obviously that's a financial gain, is that the people that are often overseeing this are spending an enormous amount of time researching, reviewing, monitoring every aspect involved in the administration surrounding shipping and taxation and the confusion it's causing. I mean, as an Englishman, we've got the biggest nightmare in the world at the moment in Brexit. We've got companies in the UK that are now using our platform to ship out to EU countries because of the border delays, the moving beast of taxation, and the issues that come with trying to ship through what was a very open border and is now closed. The other thing we have is we've got a lot of companies that would have printed centrally in Europe and just shipped simply through into the UK are now unable to do it. So we have people now reallocating everything from books, publications, photo books and canvases from their central print sites into the UK through Cloudprinter to avoid this issue. So if Brexit is a headache, please speak to us. This is an absolute fix for it. I guess the main thing is, though, make life simple. Don't make it difficult. There are easy ways of dealing with this. If you have a customer who has a need for international print fulfillment, don't try and set it all up on your own. Or if while you are setting it up on your own and building a partnership, use Cloud Printer as an interim. So moving on, you probably see that these are my soapbox passionate bits, so I'll try and avoid laboring them anymore. We've mentioned the APIs. The product is ridiculously easy to connect to. It literally is plug and play. If you want to use one of the predetermined apps, it isn't something you need to have a NASA scientist to configure. It's a simple thing. Anyone who's managing your website will be able to do it. And if they can't, we've got our 24/7 support. And we're there for any kind of regular queries on the product, how it works, how to configure it. And behind there is our own development team, which is available should you need it, or maybe you have some requirements outside of the standard documentation that you can find about all of this stuff on our website. So the final bit on that page is the eco-friendly element. I have been through it. I will continue to go through it because it is absolutely forefront of your considerations. And if it isn't, please just come up to speed with this. It's impacting people harder than you can imagine right now. And if it isn't, it will.